What's up, fishy friends? Welcome to Tim's School of Fish, and class is in session. Today, I want to talk about most used knives versus most carried knives. For me, they're not the same. Not even close to the same, and I'll explain why. So what I want you guys to do is tell me in the comments, are your most used knives the same as your most carried knives? Is your daily carry pretty much the same every day, or does it change daily? But before we talk about that, the Blackwater Knife Company Snook My Knife Design is dropping this Friday, 9 a.m. Central. Friday, August 16th, 9 a.m. Central, they are dropping. I will link the blackwaternifeco.com website down below. Make sure you go over there, subscribe to the newsletter. I have already sent out one newsletter blast announcing the drop. I will send another reminder tomorrow, and then I'll send one final newsletter blast at the time of the drops. So I was thinking about this the other day, most used versus most carried. Now for me, it's not the same at all, and there's a reason for that. So now I am a mortgage broker. I work from home. This is my home office. This is my desk. There are 3 computer monitors on the other side of this camera, and this is where I work. So all of my knives and all of my tools are at my disposal most of the time. So when I'm carrying a knife, it's when we go somewhere, whether it's to the store, the post office, out to dinner, to visit friends, to church, whatever, just the normal places people go. I don't oftentimes have an opportunity to use my knives when I'm out. Sometimes the opportunity arises, but it's just not very often. Most of the time, when I use my knives, it's at home. So the knives that I carry rotate every day. When I'm out and about, I always carry a fixed blade. Sometimes it's a bigger fixed blade. Most of the time, it's a front pocket carry fixed blade. So let me just show you some of the things that I carry quite often. The Very Good Knife Company Tradition Junior. I carry that one a lot. Don't necessarily use it a lot because when I'm away from the house, I just don't always have an opportunity to use it. The Very Good Knife Company Mantis fixed blade gets a lot of pocket time for me. The Very Good Knife Company Wasp gets a lot of pocket time for me. The Jack Wolf Knives Midnight Fixed EDC gets a lot of pocket time for me when I'm not at home. And then, in addition to a fixed blade, I either have a slip joint or a modern knife, sometimes both. It's typically only both when I know I'm going to be gone pretty much all day. The Bear & Son Large Barlow has been getting a lot of pocket time. RoseCraft blades always gets a ton of pocket time for me, and you guys know I am a huge RoseCraft blades fan, so I have plenty of RoseCraft blades to choose from. Otter Creek Barlow, Jack Wolf knives, Laid Back Jack with the purple kieranite gets a lot of pocket time. The C. Reisner Cutlery Lake Champlain Barlow, of course, the RoseCraft Nola Chucky Jack, right? So I typically always have a fixed blade, and I always have a slip joint, sometimes a modern knife as well. My Finch knives get a lot of pocket time when I'm out. That is the Finch Flint. Finch Hellfire gets a lot of pocket time. Finch Pipelines get a lot of pocket time. I actually bought this one, and then I won this one, my very first giveaway. I won from JB over there at Big Red EDC, so I have 2 of them, and I'm not mad about having 2 of them. All of these knives that I'm showing you sit right here on my desk. I've got like this wraparound desk. It's pretty large, and I have knives everywhere. Another modern knife that I carry a lot is that CJRB Pyrite Bowie. I think that is just so freaking badass. I used to think that the Pyrite Alt, that sheep's foot used to be the best one, but yeah, this is the best one. The Bowie Pyrite. Those get a ton of pocket time, but they are not my most used knives. And the reason is because when I'm carrying, I typically don't have an opportunity to use my knives very often. When I use my knives is when I'm at home and I have access to all of my knives. And it's typically about 5 or 6 knives that I find myself using over and over and over again. I do a lot of shipping. I'm in a pass around group, so I'm constantly getting knives into review and opening those packages, but I ship a lot, so I do a lot of utility cuts where I'm cutting labels on the tabletop. So I typically need smaller knives where I can get on the point and do those utility cuts in a pinch grip. So one that is one of my most used knives is the KIZER Mini Sheepdog, because it's perfect for those utility cuts. I can get up here on the tip, and I just absolutely love that double detent. So that is one of my most used knives. This one, the VOSTEED Mini Nightshade, is also another one of my most used knives because I can get on that tip and do those utility cuts. CRKT large pilar.
Pilaf, rice pilaf.
Again, you can see that they all have kind of a similar blade shape, sort of that modified sheep's foot where it's easy to get down onto the tip. And another one that I've recently started using a lot is one that I was late on, because I'm late on a lot of knives. I typically don't jump on knives as soon as they're released. You know, I got off that hype train a long time ago. The Tempest Micro Burst. Picked this one up at Blade Show. Again, similar blade shape. It's real easy to get on that tip. It's good for packages. It's good for cutting labels, utility cuts, things like that. So I use those a lot. Those are my 4 most used modern knives at the moment. And then the other thing I use is fixed blades a lot when I'm at home to break down cardboard. My backyard has essentially been converted to a suburban farm. I've got okra, tomatoes, cucumbers, bush beans, all kinds of herbs and sweet potatoes, all kinds of stuff growing back there. And so I use my fixed blades a lot to break down cardboard, cut limbs, tend to the garden, my little mini farm. My very good knife company, Adventure, gets a ton of use. It's got oil on it because it's carbon steel, so I keep it oiled up. This one gets a ton of use because it is freaking amazing. My Mora knives get a ton of use. I actually just took a sanding block to this one the other day. This one's carbon steel, and the blade was completely black with patina. It's just easy to use. It's cheap. It's a beater knife. I've got like 3 other ones, but I'm going to use this one until it just can't go no more, and then I'll start using the other one. So my Mora knife, which one is this? I think this is a Mora Basic 511. I've got a couple companions and a couple other ones, but Mora knives I use a ton of when I'm at home. My SE3 gets a ton of use. Then I recently just got this on yesterday from Scab over at Choir Boys Cutlery. This is the Work Tough Gear Russo Hunter. He and I did a little trade, so I'm sure this one's going to get a ton of use around the house and be in my regular rotation. And then I've got some other fixed blades, some other modern knives, but really those are my most used knives. I use these for shipping and packaging and labels and just little cuts around the house, clam packs, zip ties, whatever. I use these for heavier stuff around the house, breaking down cardboard, and I use them a lot for working in the yard. So yeah, but my carry knives are completely different. They change every single day. I have a lot to choose from, and so I just sort of like to mix it up. So what I want to know from you guys is, what about you? Is your carry your most used gear, or is it like me? And for me, it's because I work from home. If I didn't work from home, then my most used knives would probably be my most carried knives. Let me know, how is it for you? I'm interested to know. Let me know what you most carry. Let me know what you most use, and let me know if your daily carry is typically the same, or if you rotate every time you're out like I rotate. So there you go, boys and girls. Just wanted to talk about that today. As always, I appreciate you for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Drop me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know about your most carried versus your most used. Don't forget, the Blackwater Knife Company Snooks are dropping this Friday, 8/16, 9 a.m. Central. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Just click my logo right over there. That's it for this episode of Tim's School of Fish, boys and girls. Class dismissed.